Off-road, the toughest test in all of racing. So demanding on driver and vehicle that less than half the field even make it to the finish line. Yet one truck stands out year after year. Again in 1990, Ford trucks dominated in the desert, winning more than twice as many races as the nearest competitor. Ford's off-road records are unmatched, and every year the distance between tough Ford trucks and the rest of the pack gets a little greater. That's because the best never rest. Led by off-road's fastest rising star, young Robby Gordon, Ford delivered a solid 1-2-3 punch in the sports glamour division, the full-size pickup truck class. Gordon flew through the deserts of Mexico, California, and Nevada for 3 wins, including a Class 8 and first overall at the prestigious Baja Internacional, good enough to claim the coveted Class 8 Season Drivers Championship. Gordon had to stay on the move because chasing him all the way to the checkered flag was Ford's Class 8 newcomer, Scott McMillan. Also in hot pursuit, veteran Ford off-roader Dave Shaw, who pulled off a win in the longest off-road race taking place on American soil, the tough Nevada 500. It was the same story in the very competitive compact pickup class, where Manny Esquera brought home still another Class 7 driver's title for Ford with 3 wins in 1990. One of off-road's winningest drivers, Esquera closed the season with a win at the grueling Baja 1000. For the 3rd year in a row, the stock 4-wheel drive mini pickup class was simply owned by brothers Paul and Dave Simon in their Ford Ranger. The 6 victories during 1990 by the duo was tops in the sport. The Simons' only worries during the year came as they were trying to hold off 2 other hard-charging Ford drivers, Darren York and John Swift, also piloting Ford Ranger pickups. The stock 2-wheel drive mini pickups class was another success story for Ford, with 3 of the top 4 drivers behind the wheel of a Ford. Chuck and Johnny Johnson capped off the year with a win at Baja, the 13th win for Johnny in the 1000, and an all-time off-road record. Ford broke new ground in the full-size 4-wheel drive pickup class in 1990. For the first time that veteran off-roaders can remember, a Ford was first across the finish line in Class 4, and it happened twice. Mike Schwellinger broke the ice at the San Felipe 250, and Timmy Lee Pruitt proved it wasn't a fluke by taking home class honors at the Nevada 500. Danny Ashcraft in a Ford Bronco 2 served notice that the rest of the production sedan class members will be looking over their shoulders from now on, with 2 wins in a row at the end of the 1990 campaign. And what began as a Ford Special Vehicle Operations gamble 2 years ago continues to pay off again and again, thanks to the amazing Ford Bronco of Dave Ashley. Since joining the short wheelbase 4-wheel drive club called Class 3, Ashley has managed to practically shut out his competition. Not only has he won both drivers' titles, he's done something no other Class 3 driver has accomplished or even thought was possible. He's twice been named the HDRA Score Heavy Metal Champion, a competition that includes all of the full-size truck classes. Ford didn't just dominate in the desert. This year's Pikes Peak Hill Climb, America's 2nd oldest race next to the Indy 500, was a chance for Ford trucks to shine once again. Jack Flannery and Billy Holmes provided Ford with a 1st and 2nd place finish in the 7-mile climb to a 12,000-foot finish line, leaving Ford on top once again. Twice as many wins as anyone else, 4 drivers' titles, and the manufacturer's heavy and mini metal challenge championships. No wonder Ford has more full-size and compact truck victories than anyone in off-road for 5 years running. Beautiful to the eye, yet punishing beyond belief. There's only one Baja. It's where off-road routes run the deepest, and as far as racers and fans alike are concerned, it doesn't matter how well you do elsewhere if you don't do it at Baja. There's plenty of color and history that surround each event. Twice each year, crowds flock to Ensenada, Mexico for the most famous of all races, the Baja Internacional and the Baja 1000. It's become the perfect setting for Ford to prove just what its trucks and drivers are really made of. It was obvious from the start 1990 would be no ordinary Baja Internacional for Robby Gordon. He drew the last starting position in Class 8, but quickly started pushing his way through the pack. As chief mechanic and co-driver Russ Warnemont noted in an air-to-ground radio race interview, Gordon was too busy to talk. He was on the move.
Looks like you're making a few passes along the way. Having any trouble getting around anybody?
No, people have been pretty decent about letting us by today. They all know Robby's in a hurry, and they're really cooperating well.
Winning the Class 8 and overall title at Baja is nothing new for Robby Gordon and his big Ford truck. He became only the second driver in history to do just that at the 1989 Baja 1000. So this year's Internacional represented a chance to make it 2 in a row. It was nothing short of a spectacular day. From perfect pit stops to a full-speed run down the beautiful Baja coastline in just 7 hours, 25 minutes, and 21 seconds. Baja had its champion. A champion who wanted more than just a Class 8 win. A champion who wanted it all.
We figured we had 15, 20 minutes on Brian Stewart, which was the next truck, and we might as well go for the gusto and do the overall.
Gordon would share the headlines on this day with another Ford driver. John Swift was pushing his Ford Ranger to consecutive Baja Internacional wins in the four-wheel drive mini pickup class. Swift skillfully handled Baja's biggest obstacles and brought home a trophy for his Ford Electronics team.
We have electronics that run on stock vehicles and flawless all day long, not a problem one.
5 months later, and it was another visit to Baja. This time, it was Dave Ashley in the spotlight. Ashley and his Ford Bronco had the kind of race that most off-road veterans say was more than just improbable. It was all but impossible for a Class 3 competitor. Passing more than 100 vehicles along the way, Ashley was the first truck to the finish line. It clinched the class driving title, the heavy metal championship, and even surprised the driver himself.
We just kind of set our own pace, and little by little, I just started seeing the cars dropping by the wayside.
It was just a sign of things to come. Ford won 5 of 7 classes at the Baja 1000. Robby Gordon clinched the Class 8 crown. Manny Escura did the same with his Class 7 win. Paul and Dave Simon made it official in the four-wheel drive mini pickup class, and Johnny and Chuck Johnson and then Danny Ashcraft finished first in their classes as well. There was one other story at the Baja this year, and it may be the most amazing of them all. Ford entered one of its new stock night trucks in the race and turned it over to a team of automotive journalists. Most racers and fans predicted the truck wouldn't last 10 miles at Baja, much less 1,000. The team of journalists did indeed put the truck to the test. All through the day and into the night, the big four-wheel drive truck just kept going. It was a strange sight in the desert race pits to see the off-the-shelf parts like this air filter dropped into a race vehicle. But the new night truck was more than up to the challenge. Not only did the night truck beat the 100 or so vehicles that never made it to the finish line, it also beat another 40 that did, finishing third in Class 4. The best did it again at Baja. Ashley, Escura, McEachran, Simon, Swift, B.F. Goodrich, and Ford. Off-road's top names together in 1991. Teamwork will keep Ford #1 in the desert. Believe it or not, the best just got better.
The Ford ran flawless all day long.
We had a great day today. You know, the Venable Ford was just running great.
It's a pretty tough truck now. We beat it up pretty good today.
Have you driven a